Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. This is Chris with potstocks.com and it's January 18th. We rolled out 2 new features this week, the first being our business analysis reports, of which 3 are currently available for purchase: AFAI, AMMJ, and MCIG. Each comes with a lengthy analysis complemented by an easy 5-star breakdown based on management, operations, financials, and products. These reports are aimed at assessing the long-term viability of each company, so they're aimed more at long-term retail investors that want to make sure they're not throwing their money into a giant burning pit. We'll offer the reports through a premium subscription in the near future as well. For you business types, we also rolled out some sponsorship packages. You can go check those out under the advertise section of the nav bar. Overall, the sector was very mixed this week. Some really outstanding gainers, but a lot of flat trading and a few losers as well. Major winners this week were CANN, up 540%, even getting as high as $9.50 a share. DIDG up 362%. CTCO up over 100%, CANV up over 63%, MNTR broke over 50%, MCIG up about 30%. In news this week, CTCO Peak Pharmaceuticals announced over 3,000 orders shipped for its Cannapet line of hemp-based supplements for both humans and animals. They also announced they're leasing office and lab space at the University of Colorado Denver to conduct further hemp research. MDBX, that's Medbox, is officially under investigation for misleading financial statements. They received a subpoena from the federal grand jury and the SEC. That's definitely not good news for investors. We'll follow that story and find out more as it unfolds. ERBB unveiled its GrowRaptor home-scale aquaponics system on January 13th, second in its line of dinosaur-themed agriculture products. Over the last several months, ERBB has acquired or developed its way toward vertical integration, though that hasn't helped the share price very much. ERBB is arguably the largest investor base in the cannabis stock sector, with over 50,000 investors currently holding a position. Full disclosure, we own some ERBB as well. They still have a fair bit of debt, but their balance sheet has been improving. They also announced a revenue share contract with DBMM, a digital marketing company also traded on the Pinks. Also looks like Dixie Elixir got their hands on an ERBB Grow Light. We'll talk with their CEO Stephen Sheeran later this week and talk some more about their broader strategy and their plans to pivot to a sales posture this year. DIDG announced on January 15th an agreement with Amazon.com, whereby Amazon will be the exclusive content delivery network provider for DIDG's various media. DIDG is loosely a cannabis stock. They own and operate MJ360.TV. On news of the Amazon agreement, their stock surged very well, which we'll cover more in the charts. Incidentally, if you navigate to MJ360.TV, it's an entirely other website called Yayo and totally unrelated to DIDG. We've got a link to the real site below the video. HEMP is excited because a senator from Oregon has introduced the Industrial Hemp Farming Act of 2015, which would exclude industrial hemp from the definition of marijuana and thereby legalize it federally. We'll be tracking that and see if it can get it past committee. That's big news if it does, but it's definitely a long shot. MCIG announced a new product, the EM-J, a preloaded disposable vape pen. This enhances an already pretty robust line of vaporizer pens that they sell at a really reasonable price points. We'll look at getting our hands on a product or two for review. In other news, GRCU announced a new CEO, Dr. Trent Jones, who has some significant experience in aquaponics and cultivation of industrial hemp, also involved in the CBD research world and has some significant connections there. Nothing really new in their January 15th press release, just an overview of their operations and what their 2015 plans are. ENRT released financials and retained services of an investor relations firm to raise their profile, and MYEC signed 2 new clients for sales. Alright, let's move on to charts. Last week we anticipated good movement from CANV, CANL, AMMJ, and SPRWF. 3 out of the 4 had really great movements. CANV particularly did very well. Congrats to everybody who played those, and check out our Ultimate Investors Bundle to learn how to anticipate price movements like these. For next week's charts, we're seeing a huge amount of volume in LGBI. We think that might be a runner next week. MCIG has some strong upper price action, and that should do pretty well. ERBB has had some trouble moving lately, but to me it looks like it's primed for a bounce. And AMMJ is approaching its previous high. I think it will test that, but it won't break through just yet. Some positive news could put it above the previous high and into the dollars though, so keep an eye on their press releases. Again, congrats to everybody who's taken advantage of some of these alerts. It's definitely been a great season so far, and thanks to our followers for keeping us updated on your favorites. If you see a strong chart or some news that we don't catch, please let us know on Twitter or Facebook. I'd like to close tonight with a cool tip we received from Technical 420. If you want to get in on GWPH but you don't have the capital, you can look at their American Depository Receipt trading under GWPRF, shares of which represent 1/12 the share of GWPH. You'll need to do some math to see if your brokerage fees make that worthwhile, and I'd wait until GWPH falls a bit. But it's a cool idea for traders with limited capital to get on some of the higher caliber stocks. If you want more tips like that, subscribe to their newsletter at technical420.com. Shout out this week goes to the Cannabist. Get all the best cannabis news from the Denver Post's own Cannabist.co. Thanks to everyone in the Pot Stocks Nation for joining us. Stay in the green.